discovered America in 1492. But since there were already millions of people living on the American continents when he arrived, what is Columbus's real importance in history? This video will show what really happened during his voyages between two worlds and how they helped shape the world we know today. In 1451, Columbus was born in the Republic of Genoa. There he began his sailing career, but in 1477 he was hired as a merchant mariner for King John II of Portugal. Portugal was gaining power on the seas, colonizing Atlantic islands and establishing trade with African kingdoms. By the 1480s, they found out the Indian Ocean was on the other side of Africa. This discovery gave them a fast and cheap trade route to the rich goods of Asia. During Portugal's rise in power, a group of European scholars thought the Earth was smaller than what was previously believed. This meant one could reach Asia by sailing west. Because of the newly invented printing press, Columbus read about these recent theories to get funding for an expedition from Portugal, but King John didn't believe in the small Earth theory. He then tried in France, England, and Spain with no luck until 1492 when the Spanish sovereigns, Ferdinand and Isabella, decided to help fund 3 ships for a voyage. They saw Columbus as a means to compete against Portugal's success. The Niña, Pinta, and Santa Maria set sail on August 3, 1492. After a stop on Gran Canaria, the rest of the trip took 5 weeks. On October 12th, land was spotted. It was an island, and at dawn Columbus went ashore. Because he believed in the small Earth theory, Columbus thought he was near Japan. He called the natives of this island Indians because India was what many Europeans called Asia at the time, but the natives were really called the Taino. Trade began between the two parties, but it was clear that the Taino did not possess the fabled riches of East Asia. However, some of them wore gold as jewelry. Columbus was hungry for gold to bring back to Spain. He wandered around searching for a large amount of gold until the Santa Maria crashed into a reef on Hispaniola. Columbus left 39 men at the site to build a colony. He promised he would return for them and sailed back to Spain. He found his way back to Hispaniola using his own keen navigation skills and kept the coordinates of his route a secret. When the fleet arrived at Hispaniola, they found out that the 39 men who were left there to build a colony had been killed by a local chief. They also found out the same chief had lots of gold on his land. Columbus led a crew into his territory and found a gold quarry. The chief was angered by the arrogance of these invaders, and soon fighting broke out. To intimidate the chief, Columbus captured 3 of his captains and beheaded them in public. This enraged the Tainos and disturbed many of the Spanish. To make things worse, there was soon no gold left to mine. Columbus sent letters back to Spain on a ship and exaggerated the amount of gold that was found. To produce more profit for the king and queen, Columbus suggested starting a slave trade. Without waiting for a response, he seized over 500 natives and sent them to Spain. Most of the remaining natives fought against this injustice, so Columbus unleashed terror on them. Once defeated, they were forced to pay tributes of gold to the Spanish. It was worse than slavery. People who didn't find enough were punished brutally. Forced to constantly look for gold, the Taino could not farm their lands anymore. Many escaped into the hills, only to be hunted down. During the first few years of the tribute system, 50,000 natives died. Columbus's brutal command made him enemies in the colony as well as in Europe. In 1496, he sailed for Spain to defend his actions to Ferdinand and Isabella. He left his brother Bartolomeo in charge of the colony until he returned. The king and queen listened to his defense and allowed him to return to Hispaniola in 1498. By now, the colony was a disaster. Bartolomeo was just as bad at governing as his brother was, if not worse. A rebellion had begun among the Spanish, and soon the king and queen sent a royal investigator to assess the situation. He put the Columbus brothers on trial. They were found guilty of numerous crimes against both the Spanish and the natives. The brothers were arrested and sent back to Spain. Christopher Columbus was no longer in charge of the New World. Now old and humble, he was allowed one last voyage across the ocean, but he was not permitted to return to Hispaniola. He explored the Caribbean for 2 years before sailing back to Spain, where he died in 1506.
Welcome to class 10, and I hope you're doing good and everything is fine. Now, we proceed on to the next. Now this, what we have is known as the discovery. It's a play. Play means it's a drama by Herman Oates. H-E-R-M-A, Herman Herman Old. Okay, it's about Christopher Columbus before he landed in India. So you can see how I've made it. And drama means it's a dialogue. People will be talking, characters will be there. So you must know all the characters and you must know the key points. Even if I give you the key points, a lot of extracts may come. So the drama starts with the first scene. You must understand the first scene. It starts with the scene, all the sailors, 50 sailors are there, 50 crewmen. They were all drinking rum and they were drunk and they were singing this song. Okay? Years hence, O rum, to kingdom come. The devils laugh, but God is dumb. Okay? So what they're saying here is, O kingdom come. Okay? What they're saying here is, O kingdom come. The devil laughs. The devil laughs means it's Christopher Columbus, he's laughing. And? But God is dumb. But God is dumb. God is dumb means God is not doing anything for them. They couldn't find land. So they were nervous. You know, they were discovering. So you see how I have given Christopher Columbus. You know, he was a sailor. He was a very good captain in a ship. Okay? Now, you have to know all the characters like Pedro, Diego, Juan, Pepe. Okay, Pepe was the page boy. And then you must know the keywords. But even if you know the keywords, still extracts will come from here. Extracts will come. Okay, so I will make it in such a way, you see the video, the way it's made. You follow those. So you see, you take a book and you write Pedro. What all words came out from his mouth? You write it in the book. Diego. What all words came out from his mouth? What it means by the word mutiny. Okay, so all these things you must understand and go forward. Otherwise it's very easy. So the first thing is, the play is by Herman Old. You should know the name. Herman Old. Characters are, you should know all the characters are given there. Shows the conflict which was going on one night, the night before they reached land. Which was going on between 50 sailors and the captain. Only one person stood by the captain was the page boy Pepe. P-E-P-E, Pepe. The characters in the background in the play have been shown as restless. They were shown as restless. They want to go home. They felt seasick. They felt seasick and they want to go home. And the name of the ship you must remember is Santa Maria. Never forget. They will ask. And they wanted to go home. Where is their home? Spain. Spain had financed him to discover the new world. So you saw in the picture. They go and they find these tribals, they'll go kill all the tribals, take their gold and go off like that. Same way they done in India also. Okay? It was a great conflict. The crewmen shown singing songs which reflects their pessimism. Pessimism means they are not confident. They don't have faith and trust. But Columbus had a lot of faith and trust in God. That's what they say in this play. Columbus has got a faith and trust in God. But actually, his actual story, he was put into jail, you saw. And he done a lot of bad things also. Because people who are greedy, going for gold, they'll do anything. For money, for gold, then I don't know what all humans are like that. Okay? Now, the name of the ship is Santa Maria. You must tell they were homesick and they were going back. You must remember all that. So that's the next point. The characters in the play is, all these are the characters you must know in the play. That's all. Pepe is the page boy who stood by Columbus. You must remember that. And the crewmen were doubtful whether they're going to reach land. And suddenly they saw a light. Suddenly they saw a light. So you can see here all the main parts is given. Columbus had faith in God which bore the fruit and then they saw the light. So like that you follow the play. For this you have to go through the question and answer. For this extracts may come. Extracts is 3 marks. So for this the extracts I have given it in such a way you have to learn it that way. Okay? You must know. So you have to go read it by yourself. So you don't read it by yourself. You go in the class, someone will be Diego, he reads Diego. If I was there, we do the drama. Someone will be Pedro. Someone will be Columbus. Someone will be Pepe. And all take the book and do the drama in the class itself. And then that's it. 2-3 times you do the drama on your own. Because reading won't help. This is all dialects. It's a drama. So you have to do the drama. Annual day, you all have dance shows. That is not the way actually. You're supposed to have dramas. Shakespeare drama, Rama Sita drama. These are the things you're supposed to have. These are the things which happens in the school. Reciting poems and all, singing songs and all that, okay? Not just going and dancing. Whole program is full of dance shows. It doesn't happen that way. Okay, you don't learn anything by comedy show and dance show. Fine? So have a nice day. Go through the session. It's a nice session and goodbye.
First we have to understand its important characters and their characteristics. First, Christopher Columbus. He was the captain of the ship called Santa Maria. He was a tall, well-built man of 46. Hair prematurely white, complexion fair, almost ruddy. A man of quick temper and irritability. His face in response is melancholic. Second, Pedro Gutierrez. He was a senior officer. Columbus always respected him for his experience. He was loyal to Columbus. Due to some circumstances, Pedro acts disobediently with Columbus. In this play, he supports the seamen in their protest and drinking of liquor and singing. Pepe, the most important character of the play. He was a page boy. He was the youngest member of the crew. He remains loyal to Columbus throughout the voyage. When everybody doubts on Columbus, Pepe was the person who has trust in Columbus and in his caliber. He alerts Columbus with the mutineers' thoughts of the seamen. He stands between Columbus and the sailors when the desperate sailors attacked on his master. A very small character of the play. The play begins with Juan Patino's dialogue with Diego Garcia. That is, they ought to stop that. The captain is always furious when he hears it. Next character is Diego Garcia. He was one among the rebel sailors. We find him talking ill of Columbus in front of Pedro in the first scene of the play. Next is Francisco. He was also unhappy with Columbus and his voyage. He speaks in a disobedient way with Columbus. He breaks the discipline of the sailors. The next important character is Guillermo Iris. He was a very strong opponent of Columbus. He was the one who threatens Columbus on his face. Further, he provokes the desperate sailors to attack on Columbus. And next character, plural character, it is seamen. The crew was of 50 sailors, except Columbus and Pepe. Rest all sailors are shown as homesick and desperate. Let us move towards the extracts. For the easy remembrance of extracts, we have quoted the lines according to the characters. The popular lines of Christopher Columbus are: first one, a curb for my tongue. Second one, what? Does that child stands between me and death? Third one, discipline knows no buts. Fourth one, I will make an example of one of them. Fifth one, dark deeds are better done in the dark. Popular lines of Pepe. Sixth one, everybody doubts except me. Seventh one, they are horrible when they drink too much. Eighth one, he said, the Santa Maria will be the lighter. Ninth one. Cowards, cowards, you will have to kill me first. 10th one. They shan't, they shan't. Lines of Pedro. 11th one. We have not all your visions, Captain. 12th one. It is, sir. Glory be to Lord. 13th one. Some of us would welcome the coast of Spain. Lines of Diego. 14th one. There are limits to patience, sir. 15th one. Words for children, froth and scorn. We are men, reason with us. 16th one. Mutiny is an ugly word, sir. 17th one. Why should one man have the lives of 50 in his hands? 18th one. We are like bats, trying to fly by day. Lines of Guillermo. 19th one. We are 30 to 1. 20th one. We are men with the common feelings of men. 21. The devil's with you. We all know that riding the easterly wind. Lines of Francisco. Discipline is a thing of past, sir. Next. I am sorry, sir. I knew how high feelings had run. Last extract from Yon Patino. We are simple men, sir. Questions which may arise from this lesson are as follows. First one. What is termed as his worst enemy by Columbus? Why? Second one. Who do you think has the lives of 50 in his hands? How? Third one. Based on the text, describe the physical features of Christopher Columbus. Fourth one. How are seamen expressing their discontent even as Columbus can hear them? Fifth one. How can you say that Pepe was loyal to Columbus? Sixth one. Columbus is always furious when he hears the song, Here is a Kaiguram. Why? Seventh one. Why the crewmates of Columbus feel desperate? Last question. How does Pedro try to defend the drunken seamen? Was he right in defending them?